Good, beautiful moment, dear community. This is Katerina Satori, and I felt just really guided to open up this topic on the impact of collective thought forms that has on our lives and our ability to create and move forward with trust and confidence. And I actually was setting up this live stream so it goes at 111. And today is the day after the new moon. So to me, this energy feels so fresh, so dynamic, so filled with possibilities. And I wanted to share with you how I personally work through these collective thought forms that, if they prevail, if we don't attend to them, if we don't question them, if we don't release them, they really become these energetic negative entities that rule our lives. And when I first started diving into exploration of how our thoughts create our lives, it was a very revolutionary discovery for me that every single thought that we have and that we believe in begins to create our reality, so much that if you look at your life, if I look at my life is a reflection of my past thinking and my past action and my past decisions, right? So this could be a great realization and a feeling of empowerment that we are never stuck. And the first step to any change is to change our mind and to change our thinking. So if you and I meet for the very first time, because I'll post this live stream on my Instagram and on my YouTube, my name is Katerina Satori. My work in the world and my life's calling is to offer inspiration, education, and empowerment to people to awaken these creative abilities so they create sovereign and fulfilling lives. I mentor, I teach, I speak, and I lead transformational events. And from the earliest time as I remember, I've always been fascinated. What is possible to create with our mind? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me, because I did not ask that. I was always fascinated by what is possible to create with our mind. That our mind is an instrument, either an instrument of destruction. Yeah, the crows are in the back. Instrument of destruction or an instrument of creation. And I been on this quest for the last 20 years. Deep quest of how do we activate the true potential of our mind, how our mind works. And that led me to deep research and study of not only my own personal mind, but of the collective mind. And the way that I like to share this transformative information and knowledge with others that can really liberate people is that your mind is not in your brain. Your mind is all around your body. You actually exist in your mental field. Your mind goes first and your body is contained within your mind. So if you hold that metaphor with me, whether it's new for you or completely revolutionary, fresh or old, but it's a good reminder for all of us. Our mind exists outside of us, right? And so it's like a windowsill in our aura. The same thing with the collective. Every single country on the planet has a collective mind, right? The kind of like a layer, invisible layer of that country thinking, that country culture. This is why when you go to a particular country, you feel, you spend a couple of days there and you feel restless, or you feel unease, or you feel maybe even depressed. When I go to Russia, to my home country, usually my limit is 5 days. 5 days. And I start feeling, like, oh my gosh, this low thinking collective mind of hopelessness and despair begins to affect you. So this is why, depending where you at, you will be affected by the collective thought forms of the country that you're in, of the town that you're in, right? And this is a powerful realization to have, because then you begin to commit yourself to a daily discipline of unplugging your mind from the collective mind, from the collective thought forms, and beginning to engage in this process that we call mind training, mind discipline. The one thing that I see that will be absolutely crucial moving forward is the training of the mind, is really awakening that sovereign mind. So there, in the state that I live in California, it has been so energetically dense at times. I was even leaving a voice note to one of my spirit brothers that has been just so heavy and energetically dense, not all the time. Not all the time. This is the most beautiful vortex of spiritual energy, right? But I want you to know the other side of that is this energetic density. And people are stressed. A lot of people are stressed. A lot of people spend a lot of their time talking about how bad the economy is and how it's only going to get worse. And, they're using the preciousness of their mental real estate to give power to the collective thought forms. And a thought form is basically a thought that has been thought many, 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 many times, and it becomes a condensed entity, like an energetic entity. This is why, you meet somebody for whom is a constant dialogue about how bad an economy is, their energy begins to reflect that. They usually, they kind of like restless and have a difficult time to be present. And it's because that thought form literally became an entity that begins to rule the part of their mind, a part of their energy. It's really important to realize that, knowing that we create with our thoughts. And what I'm here to bring as a reminder to those who are ready is that we have this divine economy, we have a spiritual economy, we have different spiritual laws that when we attune to them and we get to know them, we study them, we begin to open our mind, our mental body to a completely new reality. We begin to create on a completely different level. We begin to remember that we are sovereign creative beings, that we chose this incarnation to create, to play with matter, to turn our ideas into things, right? Thought become thing, right? So this is our true potential as divine human. But we will never step into that alternative reality that is filled with abundance and possibility and creative aliveness if we keep giving away our power of worrying about economy. And this is what worry does. I've been studying the effect of worry on the human body. Worry will put a huge strain on our nerves. And actually, when you meet somebody and they have this nervous energy, right? It is because they don't know how or are not doing it on a regular basis, don't have any self-mastery to actually say, worry puts a huge strain on my nerves and on the nervous system, right? And that affects immune system. And that affects your ability not to get sick. So when I start really looking at worry, at a high price of worry on our nervous system, on our body, on our nerves, I began to practice different tools and techniques that would shift me from stress and worry into clear presence and stillness and availability to life. So this is really, really powerful because, little review, every thought that we continue to think becomes a thought form. It's like a cloud of thoughts. A thought form is a cloud of thoughts that begins to follow us, and thoughts attract to us experiences, events, and people that are in match to that thought form. Then we have another conversation called collective fear-based mind or collective ego. And this is what gets strengthened from or through the media, through the mainstream media that talks about the gloom and the doom and all these fearful scenarios. Basically, all the news outlets, all the news media, doesn't matter which side you're on politically, philosophically, they are designed to feed this collective fear-based mind. And the more we realize that, it's like this outer layer, right? It's like this invisible layer that every country will have its own collective fear-based mind. And if you choose to create your own reality, the very first thing to do is to become aware of this. There's a collective fear-based mind, and you're impacted by it because when you remember you exist in the energy ocean, separation is an optical illusion. You exist in the energy ocean. You're going to be affected by the collective fear-based mind, right? You also get affected by the thought forms, such as, thought forms of lack or limitation or fear of the future. And these thought forms a lot of times have root in what it's called karmic thoughts. And did you know that 80% of the thoughts that weigh you down, they take root from karmic thoughts. These are the thoughts of your ancestors, the thoughts of your mother, of your father, your grandparents, great-grandparents. So to understand that 80% of thoughts that feel heavy, that don't give you rest, are what it's called karmic thoughts, as a huge liberation, a huge leap of consciousness, right? So what do we do about it? You may say, Katerina, you address the problem. We see that if we believe in a story, that every year time is running out and the economy is getting worse. If we collectively believe that story, we keep reinforcing that reality. And every single one of us play a role in that. Every single one of us. So there is a great responsibility awakens, in my heart to catch myself every time I give my power away to support that collective fear-based reality. What is actually happening, what we're actually seeing, is the birth of this rapid innovation in so many areas of life. And innovation can only break through when we allow the chaos and the uncertainty to play itself out. The same thing in our own lives. If we want to experiment with new fresh way of expression, fresh way of creation, we get to allow the uncertainty and the chaos of the elements and the dance of the moment to guide us and to move through us. But what we will see more and more is what it's called the rising of creative gifts in humanity. That more and more people realize it's their birthright to be a creator. It's their birthright to express themselves creatively. More and more people will realize that they too can build an online brand. They too can express their voice online because internet is the medium of connection, global connection, and it's not going to go away. I really foresee in the next 3 years, businesses who don't have a very strong, alive online presence will have a very difficult time staying relevant. So the next 3 years, this is an invitation to take our focus away from the story of bad economy and move our focus on I am a creator of my own economy. And the next 3 years, I am going to put all my resources, all my energy, all my focus on developing my mind and developing the skill set that will be relevant in any economy. And what are the skill set, right? Well, the skill set is know your gifts, communicate your gifts with passion and conviction, seek to serve life because life supports life, seek to add value in any interaction. In every choice of a creative leadership that we take, we create our own economy. So time is ticking, right? Every year, every day, we're closer to portal of death, and we don't know when it's going to come for us. So the mind training, from my perspective, lays in not giving the precious time that you have to dwelling on the thoughts and fear of economy. Economy will do whatever economy will do. I've been in this country for 20 years, right? I came here from Russia 20 years ago, and I remember coming here with the googly immigrant eyes and just so excited about a possibility of having two jobs. I remember asking people here, you can have two jobs? People like, yeah, you can have three if you can handle it. And coming from Soviet Union and Russia, you would only you only could have one job, one salary, and everything was capped, right? So you couldn't really express yourself in many different ways when I was still there. And I remember I was so excited. All I saw was possibility. All I saw was opportunity. You know, those immigrant eyes of deep desire and deep desire to maximize every opportunity. And I remember I was baffled 20 years ago. So that's year 2024, right? 20 years ago, people were complaining about economy. And every year I lived here, somebody would talk about how bad economy was. So for the last 20 years, this is an ongoing collective conversation. And there's people who choose to believe in that. And when you believe in something being bad or limited, you have no possibility to create a new reality for yourself. You actually stay on the level of survival, and you become addicted to the chemicals in your body that are produced by stress and worry and survival. So you kind of get used to living with suppressed creativity, living with suppressed gifts, living with suppressed passion. You go through your life kind of like in a robotic way. How many people like that do you know? And if you are around them, what I would say is, put boundaries around those conversations, because every time you participate in a conversation how economy is bad, you give your consent supporting that collective based reality. And the more of us who start rebelling against that conversation and say, no, wait a second, I am a divine creative being. I came here to create. I actually came here on the plane of duality to unlock my own skills, to unlock the gold mine within, to unlock my relationship with the laws of the universe. And I'm going to paint outside of status quo, and I'm going to create something new. I'm going to turn my life into art. I'm going to turn my demons into angels. I'm going to turn my limitations into possibilities, because I can, because I have this one precious life, and I'm going to rise above the age I was born. One of my favorite phrases is by Paramahansa Yogananda, who's a spiritual icon of our times, a monk who was sent to United States on a spiritual mission. And he didn't want to go. He was really happy in his country, India, right? And he didn't want to go. He would say, Divine Mother, keep me in India. This is my land. But he had that karmic assignment to bring the science of yoga to United States. And he wrote profusely. He wrote many books. And one of my favorite books that he wrote is called The Divine Romance. And in Divine Romance, there is one passage that one day I will memorize, but it goes something like this. Yogananda gives us this inspiring declaration: rise above the age you were born. Do something that nobody yet has imagined. You've been given will, you've been given reason, you've been given imagination and creativity. Rise above the age you were born. So every generation that comes will have, this tendency to think that their cycle of time is not as easy than the one before, or not as many opportunities. But every generation has a unique blend of opportunity and challenge, of tension and dynamism. Every generation has this ripe curriculum for those souls who choose sovereignty, for those souls who will say, I will not be oppressed by the collective fear, by collective worry, by the collective limitation. I will choose to never support collective fear-based mind, which is the ego mind, right? Collective fear-based mind is this shield, is this invisible kind of layer that will drag you down and will win every single time if you're not alert and you're not present. It takes presence, to recognize all the presence that exists, to recognize opportunities, to be excited about your challenges instead of being oppressed by them, and to say, I am here to write a beautiful story of a person who decides to do whatever it takes to create their economy, to create their life into an art form by developing a sense of personal will, creative imagination, inner mastery, mastering of thought. So, this is what I wanted to share with you today because I refuse to participate in these limited conversations about how economy is bad every single year. You know, this is conversation that is old and it will never liberate us. We get to take this leap into inner freedom that says, I create my own economy. I'm a sovereign divine soul. And also, we get to train our mind into prosperity consciousness. It's not going to happen automatically, right? I remember when I was rewiring my deepest scarcity belief systems, I would write affirmations every single day. I would speak affirmations every single day. I would create my own tapes and audios with my own voice. I would read prosperity books. I would reprogram my mind with subliminal mind training, right? I would use self hypnosis. It was a very dynamic journey. You know, when people meet me and they say, oh, wow, how did you manifest all of your dreams? How did you create the life that you have? And I say, do you really want to know? Do you really want to know what it took to excavate every single mental program of lack, limitation, right? This hopelessness, this despair, this lack of belief in my own power. It was a very dynamic process. And this is exactly what I'm going to teach in my upcoming curriculum called Spiritual Rainmaker. I turn it into a new format. I deliver it in a new way. Last time I delivered it over 5 days in a row. This time I'm going to put it into a 21-day container where for 21 days we trained our mind into prosperity. It takes 21 days to establish a new habit, right? It takes 21 days to start thinking in a new, fresh way. So, this is what I'm creating in a spiritual Rainmaker 21-day transformational process to rewire your inner world towards abundance, towards possibilities, towards creativity. You will receive a daily mantra. We're going to work with one most powerful mantra, which is the formula of creation, right? And from all my studies with ancient mystery teachings, there has been these formulas of creation that has been given by teachers to students, right? That unlock the benevolent forces of the universe to co-create with you. We have lost that magic, but we are reclaiming it and we are finding our way back to it. So my inspiration behind this curriculum is to empower more and more people to think as sovereign creators of their realities, to unplug our consciousness from a fear-based collective mind, to awaken that creative rebel that says, this is not my reality, I do not consent this, and to awaken this connection, alive, intimate connection with the divine matrix, this intelligent, fractal, holographic universe that hears you, that is highly aware of you, that is a mystical intelligence that is alive, that is co-creative, that wants to participate with you, through you, and as you. I feel like if I accomplish that and that curriculum, boom, I can ascend tomorrow. I can go into other reality tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, these are very powerful techniques and tools and processes that teach you how to manifest your abundance and resources that you require for your dharma, for your purposeful and evolutionary path from within, from within, from within, under any circumstances, under any economy, because you know you create your own economy as a sovereign ruler of your reality. right? Every single one of us is a sovereign ruler of our own queendom and kingdom. And if your queendom or kingdom has been under a lot of challenges and devastation, it's because I can imagine there were times where you subscribed to the collective fear-based mind and you stopped creating and you stopped believing in yourself and you stopped controlling your thoughts, because every thought creates. Every thought creates. And this is a huge um, topic that I am going to bring forth in the next few weeks of transmissions, that we create with our thought, we create with our mind. So every single one of us, our life is our kingdom or queendom, right? Is our sovereign space. And we're never stuck. We are never stuck. The moment we believe that our circumstances are frozen and never will change, this is where we give our power away. Every single day is a fresh 24 hours for you to turn your reality and go to a completely new timeline. Every single day. So, when I wake up in the morning, like today, I needed a little bit more sleep. I had a very dynamic weekend, hosting an immersion with a client, and just had a lot of activities on my hands. And I woke up this morning and I allowed myself to just take as much rest as I needed. And one of the mindfulness quotes that I practice from a Zen tradition, I was saying to myself, I wake up and I smile. Fresh 24 hours are before me. Today I will live fully each moment. I will extend compassion to all human beings. And that's how I start my day, like orienting my mind to this beautiful inner alignment. Our mind needs to be oriented, our mind needs to be trained, our mind needs to be directed. Otherwise, it's like this wild monkey that jumps from one branch to the next. And when you don't have a centered mind, you cannot create a centered life. And this is a first realization. When you realize that, when I realized that, I began to invest my time in training my mind. So our mind needs to be trained into prosperity. It needs to be anchored into these new empowering beliefs of our creative power, of our inner sovereignty, of our inner leadership that we can take in our life. And then our mind also needs to be cleansed from the collective belief programs, from karmic thoughts, and from these ideas of lack and limitation. So that's what I wanted to share with you, that I invite you to consider that every time you participate in a conversation of a bad economy, you literally subscribe to that collective thought forms, and it becomes your story, it becomes your life story, it becomes your reality. You can take a different route, you can take a different stance, and you can say, yes, I understand this is happening. I'm a creative sovereign being, and I'm going to choose to attune my mind to a different reality, and a reality where I create with my thought. I create through my inspiration. There is this infinite divine bank within me that is made of all these incredible ideas, that your higher self and your subconscious mind just continue to bring you new ideas, new ideas, new ideas, and you'll never run out of them. And you can take that stance, or at least I am sharing this is the stance that I am taking every single year. My stance is I'm a creative, sovereign being, and I live in my dharma, which is purposeful and evolutionary path, and I inspire others to discover their dharma. Because once you discover your dharma, your calling, not your job, your calling, your dharma has in it everything required for you to fulfill your dharma. It's when we are not living our purpose. It's only a matter of time where the money will dry out, inspiration will dry out. You will find it more and more challenging to force yourself to do the job that it's not meant for you to do, or you overstaying there. And this is the time where you say, okay, I get to start aligning to my Dharma, to my meaningful, purposeful, evolutionary path. And this is what 2023 was all about, right? Like when I think about the year 2023, so many people went through death and rebirth because this is the process of alignment, right? You gotta die to the old path that is not your path anymore. You got to allow yourself to be in the gap. And the gap is usually a powerful time to train your mind into a new self, into a new future, into a new evolutionary journey with yourself. So, okay, I'm not going to go even further. It is 30 minutes, perfect enough. Have a beautiful, evolutionarily purposeful week, everyone who is joining me live or online. A few announcements for those who would like to go deeper. I have a program called Spiritual Rainmaker, which is training your mind by creating by thought alone and clearing bad money karma through ancient yoga techniques and learning to manifest your abundance from within. This is a 2.0 version, and we're going to start on Thursday. Also, if anyone in my community is on this quest, deep quest of finding your Dharma, your purpose, and nothing brings fulfillment to your heart until you find it, I am feeling in my field there is this Dharma client who is searching for what I can offer in this area of helping somebody to unlock their sacred soul contract, helping somebody to find their true spiritual gifts, and then build around that, a path of how you develop those gifts and how do you become the person who fully expresses his or her Dharma. So I will write a whole post about it. It's called the Dharma Mentorship, how to find your Dharma and find the courage to step into it. And what is Dharma? Your purposeful evolutionary path, your true calling in life. So I'm feeling the soul in my field who is looking for this offering, and I'm announcing it. So this is available. I'm available one-on-one, and I can tell more how this package works. But for now, you're more than welcome simply to reach out to me and inquire about it. Also, we are enrolling and welcoming applications for a Peru retreat, which is a profound journey into the heart. This is the land that will enchant you, that will nourish you, that will open up your gifts, that will connect you to your parallel lifetimes. There's so many gifts for Peru. This is my last public retreat, beloveds, beloved community. You hear me say this very publicly because next year I'm taking a pause from retreats. It's going to be my sabbatical year. And Spirit is guiding me to leave a lot of spaciousness for my own journeys, for my own travels. So if you wanted to come to Peru, like this is the last public retreat and it's going to be magnificent. This is going to be our third travel there. I feel it's going to be a masterpiece, a crescendo. We are conscious leaders. We are spiritual healers and entrepreneurs. This is a highly aware, conscious group that comes with to the land of Peru with reverence and with humility as an open cup to learn from that land. So I will post the links and everything that I've named. I'll post the links underneath this video. So if this feels like a big yes for you, if you're curious, if you want to learn more, you can apply to Peru and I will have a conversation with you over Zoom. You can send me a private message for Dharma mentorship, how to find and step into your life's calling. And Spiritual Rainmaker starts on Thursday. So far, all women are in the group. It's going to be all women group, which is amazing. We welcome any genders. Any genders are welcome to join. It's not just for women, but so far, all women has joined. So if it's gonna turn up to be all female group, Then it's going to be a very unique transmission of how the feminine manifests abundance, which is different from how the masculine manifests abundance. So if it's going to be all women, I'm going to channel a whole new codes of how the feminine gives births through the portal of her womb, how she gives births to new reality, through new visions, to new creative aliveness. On this note, I'm going to go and actually prepare for my classes. Thank you to everyone who's been with me through this transmission. Remember, worry will put a strain on your nervous system, which will lead to suppressed immune system, which will lead to physical disease. So don't give your power away to worry about economy. I've been here in this country for 20 years, and every year I hear the same conversation, and it's just getting old. I'm not buying into this collective story and collective movie. And I invite those who also feel the truth of this expression, join me, because the more of us begin to hold the vibration of prosperity through service, through adding value to life, through integrity, through visionary thinking, the more of us will raise the collective mind to the next level. But the more of us still buy into the story of the collective horrible economy, the more we remain victim of the economy and we're not moving forward. So I invite those of us who are here to lift up the vibration of the planet to become a sacred holder of these codes of true embodied prosperity based on your creativity, your mastery of mind, and your decision to co-create with the quantum field, was inexhaustible source of divine supply. Your decision to plug into that versus plug into the fear-based mind and a fear-based matrix. It takes the same energy, but produces two radically different results, radically different realities. Who is with me? Join me on this journey of elevating the collective mind into this creatorhood. I think that's it. Thank you so much. And if you found the value in this video, please tag somebody who can see it, share it with others. Let's create the most incredible sovereign future together in this year.